your value and they know your value.
Absolutely.
So that was where I was talking to George about this. I was saying, how do we, that leap, how do I say I'm worth 100 quid? Don't waste my time. Because I've met people who have said, okay, this is my money. You know what it is? Okay, now let's talk. Where sometimes we come in talking, walk around the money issue, finally get to the money issue about 2 hours later, and then they want to bring the money down. So that was the discussion I was having with George. So that's what I was. Yeah.
I've just brought it up. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Now, chapter 3 is entitled Faith, Visualization of, and Belief in Attainment of Desire. Chapter 4 is Autosuggestion, the medium of influencing the subconscious mind. Let's see. Chapter 11, the mystery of sex, transmutation. Chapter 12, the subconscious mind, the connecting link. What has this got to do with being financially successful? Well, the answer to that is that it's got everything to do with what's going on inside the person. You are powerful. You have incredible power. It's about realizing that and allowing that to work for you. So regardless of what you believe in, I believe in all of you. All of you are real. And I know that all of you are powerful. And you can achieve incredible things. But you just have to believe in yourself, regardless of your circumstances. Because even if your circumstances are dire, your mind is one of the most incredible things. You can actually think your way out of almost any problem in any situation. But you have to believe in yourself, and you have to have confidence in yourself.
And
so whether you
does,
believe in a higher power or not, you are a higher power.
But the thing is that there's always this concept about believing yourself. But then how do you access that belief in yourself? I mean, we've heard that many times, believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself. But how do you actually access that higher place in order to do what you need to do, to go beyond yourself, basically, if you have a desire to do so?
Sure.
That's the thing, if you have a desire.
That's a very important question. And as someone who has been running workshops for like nearly 10 years, one of the things that I found was not just as a facilitator, but also as a participant in different workshops, because I used to actually promote different events for the Spiritualist Church that I was actually the treasurer and the medium secretary and the event secretary. So I organised the events, and I would speak to all of these different mediums, all of these different creative peoples, and get insight into what was going on, and I would see the effects that it would have on the groups of people that were there. And very often at these kind of events, you can have an immediate impact on actually helping someone, of helping them to course correct or improve what they intended to improve. But for that to be long standing, very often it can be a case of people feel high, they have like a high which might last for a couple of days, and then after that the reality sets in and things kind of like go back to normal. So how can you actually initiate change and keep that change going on? And one of the things that I realized was that a lot of these issues are so deeply ingrained. Sometimes, yes, you can have like a situation where you can have a aha moment where you go to a workshop or an event and it's transformative, you've got the information, and it just happens, whether it's healing or a change in your lifestyle. But with a lot of these things, they're actually ingrained, and they're actually informed by repetitive patterns of behavior. So I realized that what I needed to do was to provide sort of like a tool and also a practice which I could share and give to people which they could then do on their own. So the workshops that I do, I have something which I call releasing, the cycle of release, dissolving negative patterns. And the whole idea, I got inspired by this by actually nature and the cycles of nature. So I've come up with a schematic. I'll share this with you now. As I'm talking, you can have a look at this. And if people are willing, we can do like a very brief exercise. So if you want to pass that round. I think I did about 14, so I think we should be all right. There should be enough going round.
Yes, thank you.
Has everyone got one?
Yes, thank you
I
very
think that
much.
should be enough. Or no, we got one more? A couple more over here. Okay. Right. Okay. So, the circle of release, dissolving old patterns. So, I mean, essentially, you know, traumas, we can look at traumas or events which are difficult. Some people like to think that, you know, we're here in order to learn. So we can see them as learning experiences. Whatever they are, we have to go through them anyway. So it is useful if we can learn something from them. But very often, you know, we kind of like develop coping mechanisms to deal with that, which are really effective, especially if it's been really traumatic. Or whatever the experience is, or whatever the issue is. And then we come up with mechanisms to cope or to protect ourselves in certain ways. And very often, after the incident or the trauma has passed, we can keep on with these behaviors or coping mechanisms. And they may not necessarily be relevant for us anymore, but because we're so used to doing that, we are creatures of habit. It's so easy to fall back into those patterns of behavior because we're so used to doing it. It's easier to do that than not to do that. So I realized that, okay, these things, it's not just about an immediate impact which will change someone's life. It's a pattern which needs to be broken. So therefore, it can be dissolved by understanding, but it means taking actions which are going to change that pattern. It's about changing the patterns in your life, as it were. Yeah, so essentially, I was inspired by the
Jeorge, I'm
cycles of
sorry,
nature.
but could we do a workshop then? Because I think people are getting kind of tired. Could we just do a workshop and because it's getting kind of late?
Okay.
Could we just do the workshop? You said you're going to do that thing.
Yeah, so essentially we've got this in front of us. So the first thing to do is to think of an issue which you want to actually deal with. And then the next would be to deal with what you wish to actually change or bring into your life to replace that. And I relate to that as being sort of like connected with the emotions. So it's the water element. The first one, the issues, that's the earth element. You can see that as being kind of like focusing on the issue, but also like a seed in the ground ready to bring up something new to replace what the issue is. And then at the bottom, that relates to, and they also relate to the cardinal points as well, so we're talking north, east, south and west. And so in the south, it's the air element, and that relates to the mind. So after you work out the emotional side of things, what's actually going on emotionally, how the issue makes you feel, what you want to bring into play, how you want to feel about the issue or releasing the issue, you then need to think about how can I go about doing that, and just think about it. And then the last and most important thing is taking action, some kind of action. If you don't take any kind of action, whether it's perfect or imperfect, nothing's going to change. Nothing happens. You need to take action. In some cases, depending on what the issue is, you may not be able to take immediate action. So therefore, you need to take a symbolic action.
So can I just go? The issues is, did you see that was north?
The issues are north, so if you look at what I've given you there, it shows you the cardinal points as well. At the top, it's north, east, south and west. And when I deal with angels or other kinds of beings, there are angels that relate to the cardinal points as well. So it's Uriel in the north, Michael's definitely in the west. Gabriel, I think, relates to water, so that's the east, and in the south it's Raphael, that's healing. So it can be used in various different ways, but the important thing is to just go through it. Whether you believe, whatever you believe in, doesn't matter. It's about the practice, because we do have these patterns which are in the subconscious, and it's about cleansing the subconscious so that it doesn't get in the way. Whether you believe in a higher self or not, your subconscious does get in the way. I think most people can understand and relate to that. So it's about decluttering and deprogramming the subconscious. So that's what the exercise is designed to do. And it may not happen straight away, but if you tackle it and you're honest with yourself, you can actually come to a resolution where you can see how you can move forward, how you can take action. So as an exercise,